Hello and welcome to a new UiPath demo. In this video, we'll learn how to use the DateTime variable type to perform a wide range of operations using dates. Let's begin. We'll start by declaring a variable called DateTimeVar. We'll browse for the System.DateTime type. And we'll initialize our variable with now, which is a method that returns the current date and time. To convert a DateTime variable to string, we'll use the ToString method. This displays the date in an invariant culture format. To print the result to the output panel, we'll add a log message activity and type in our DateTime Variable.toString as the message. Great! Now let's run the file. The date and the time are printed in the output panel. If we want to convert the date to a certain string format, we can do so by specifying the desired format as an argument of the ToString method. Let's convert this date to the ISO 8601 format, which is a standardized international date format. Whenever doing this, we'll make sure to use capital M for the month and lowercase m for the minutes. We'll use lowercase h for the 12-hour format and uppercase H for the 24-hour format. T is a character that is used as a delimiter for the ISO format, and ZZZ represents the time zone. Now, let's run the file again to see the result. As we can see in the output panel, we have the year, month, day, hours, minutes, seconds, and the time zone. Next, let's see how we can handle the conversion from string to DateTime by using the DateTime.parse method. By default, if we use DateTime.parse, Studio will assume that the date provided is formatted according to the invariant culture. We'll add an assign activity before our log message and add our variable in the to field. In the value field, we'll use DateTime.parse to convert the 16th of April 2021 from string to DateTime. The format of the date in the string is month, day, year. Let's see what happens when we run the file. We can see the expected result in the output panel. Let's try to provide the date from the string type in another format and see if it's still recognized. We'll use day, month, year. We'll click Run File, and as we can see, it's throwing an error since in the invariant culture format, the month needs to be the first and 16 is not a valid month number. For cases where we know exactly the format in which we'll receive the date, we can use DateTime.parseExact, which takes two additional arguments. One for the expected format, and another one to specify a culture. Let's run the file once more. We've solved the issue and the date is displayed correctly in the output panel. In case we might receive our dates in more than one format, we can specify them as an array of strings like so. To use parseExact like this, we need to also provide a fourth argument, DateTimeStyles, which provides additional information about the format of the provided date. Perfect. Let's run the workflow again. It works with the date in the current string format. Let's test it with the second format as well. We'll run the project. We can notice in the output panel that the result remained unchanged. Great! An operation which may prove useful in different processes is adding or subtracting time from a DateTime variable. This can be done by using the following methods. We can just type add followed by the unit of time that we need. In this case, we'll add hours. As a parameter, we'll need to provide the number of units that we want to add. Let's add 2 hours to the current time. Now let's run the workflow. And here is our result. If we want to subtract units of time instead, we'll use a negative value as the parameter. Let's subtract 15 hours from the current time and click Run. Looks like the 15 hours have been subtracted from our date. Perfect. Let's try another example. This time, let's add 14 days. And this worked as well. Next, let's see how we can assess the difference between two dates. We'll need to find out how many days have passed since the beginning of the year. For this, we'll need to declare a new DateTime variable which we'll name Start of Year. This variable will store the first day of the year. Let's set the type to DateTime and use the DateTime.parse method to set the date. To output the difference, we can use the subtract method. Let's choose the unit of time according to the result that we need. Let's select days for this example. And then run our project. Everything looks good. At the time of the run, 108 days and a half have passed since the start of the year. If we subtract a later date from an earlier date, the result will be positive. If the order is switched, the result will be negative. Let's hit Run. And we have the expected result. If the order is not relevant and we just want to obtain a positive result, we can use the math.abs method to display the absolute value. We'll run the project to view the result. And here it is. An alternative to subtract is to just use minus between the two dates. Let's click Run. And we got the same result. Everything looks good. And this was it for our video on DateTime variables. For a quick recap, we can declare DateTime variables using the System.DateTime type and assign the current date by using the Now method. We can convert DateTime values to string by using the ToString method. We can use the DateTime.parse method to convert string values to DateTime. We can use the DateTime.parseExact method when we know exactly the formats in which we'll receive the dates as string. The add methods let us both add and subtract time when working with DateTime variables. To get the difference between two dates, we can use the subtract method. And last but not least, the math.abs method helps us get the absolute value for the difference between dates. Thanks for watching.